It doesn't matter what my name is or even who I am. You will only be interested in the photos that I am going to show you, and the history that this town lost in the middle of nowhere hides. Many of these photos were taken by me. Others were got from the old library and from some neighbors who are knowledgeable about the history of this, let's say, peculiar place. I will not reveal the name of this town yet. I will just say that it is real as you or me. Let's start with the photos. This is one of the streets of the town. To the normal viewer, it may seem normal, a simple street. But I warn you that in this town, nothing is normal. These streets have been empty of children for a long time. They say that someone came and simply took them away. There are those who say that it was a mysterious fog that caused those children to never return. The truth is that no one knows for sure. An intense fog came, yes, and it stayed in the town for more than a month. After that, the fog left, and it's like no one in this place has ever been the same since then. I remember the school bus driver. One school day with the bus full of children and a short, simple route ahead that should not have taken more than 20 minutes, he did not return. A few days later, the empty bus appeared in the middle of a field. The vehicle looked as if 30 years had passed since it was last driven. Nobody has been able to find out what happened. Many in the town blamed the driver's daughter, Nina, a woman who dedicated herself to dance without music. She used to dance in a chaotic and terrifying way. Her mere appearance brought bad omens. There were neighbors who blamed Tom Palmer, the ironmonger, for the disappearance of the bus. I imagine that because he had a van, you know. In this town, it takes very little to make someone suspect you of something evil. I like to go to the forest to rest and listen to the silence. It relaxes me. This is a photo I took there. I remember that once during one of my walks, I saw Nina dancing in the forest. She seemed completely gone. It was scary just watching her. I took a photo of her, and when I developed it, I saw something that I still can't explain today. I didn't give it much importance, you know. When you have lived here for so many years, you learn to live with the unknown. Once I started asking in town about the children on that bus. Nobody knew anything. I mean, they weren't even aware that there were ever children in the village. Really, that fog must have been the cause of all this. I mean, it's okay that you don't know where the children are, but saying that there were never children in the town is already too much, don't you think? Maybe Professor Miller, who lived in an isolated cabin in the middle of nowhere, had something to do with it. Since the children disappeared on that bus, abandoned children's swing parks suddenly began to appear all over the town. For heaven's sake, we never had a playground in this town. I even found an abandoned car somewhere. I don't remember where exactly. It was never known whose car it was. It's just another mystery of this charming little town. And as if that were not enough, many neighbors swear that strange voices and noises are heard very frequently in the old high school. Once I even entered the high school. I already told you that it is abandoned, right? Inside, I found a ball. I think it belonged to one of the children on that bus, but that's just my assumption. When I left the school, I took some photos of several empty places. And when I developed them, well, the kind of things that happen a lot in this town appeared. Here, anyone who gets bored is because they want to. Another interesting place in this town is Mrs. Dawson's swimming pool. It was a beautiful pool back in the 80s. I never saw it at its best. I remember that the last time I saw Mrs. Dawson was at Tom Palmer's hardware store. I remember that she bought a rope, and apparently then she took her car and came to this place. I don't know what she would do here, but it certainly is a nice tree. Nothing was ever heard from her again. I once tried to leave this town, but there was always something that prevented me. Last time it was this tree in the middle of the road. Of course, I took a photo before returning to town. Well, and this is my house. I remember it was one of those foggy days. I was inside watching a movie and someone must have taken this photo. It wasn't me, that's for sure. Whoever it was left it under the door for me. Quite a detail, really. There are those who would have been scared of something like that. But this is Peak Town. And as I've already told you, here you learn to live with the unknown.
This is the channel you've been screaming for. Subscribe.